Just guess. No one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Generation Shock. Now, I know I don't sound as nice as my boy Nelly when I say it like that, but it's okay. It's your boy ScheckMonster, the monster on the mic, and you know I'm here to play. Let's get it. Today we got an exciting episode. I can't wait. But first, before we jump into the topics, I gotta introduce these handsome devils that are here with me today. And first and foremost, I'm going to start with our guest. It's the man that can deadlift the entire weight of LCP podcast. It is...
Yo, it's your boy NastyNate63. What up? Yo, that was really funny, bro. I like that one. I like
I
that.
told you I had it. I told you I had it.
I'm here filling in for...
That was good.
What does he go by now?
Nelly.
Nelly, that's what it is. Yeah, I don't want to say his other one. He don't like that one.
Yeah, he don't like that
But
one.
Here's filling in for him. Again, congratulations. Here to have a fun time, talk about some stuff, ready to go.
All right.
Welcome.
Next up, I got my boy. And ladies, if you hit him up and you slide his DMs, you know he'll be your only fan. It's my boy.
Oh my lord, you guys never gonna let that go. Now I'm gonna give you a... What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
Say goodbye.
What's up? It's your boy Gordo. Welcome to a new episode of Generation Shock. How's everybody doing?
Yeah. Get it. And
let's
last
go.
but not least, it's the man, it's the myth, it's the legend, it's the guy that's been around for all eternity. It's my boy.
What's everybody doing? What's up? This is Messiah. Just saying what's up to everybody, and welcome to the show.
All right.
See, I'm learning to say a little bit and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier for us.
Yo, yeah.
Like, it's
It
just
does.
such a smoother
But
thing.
in my-
with that.
Yeah, but in my head, I'm like, should I continue?
You know, like you just sometimes you just less is more. Less is more, guys. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, because you'll be sitting here thinking for like 10 minutes about what you're gonna say, and then as you're saying it, you're thinking of like 5 other things, and so then it just jumps in. It's like, well, just stay on track. Speaking of on track,
It's my ADD.
yeah, I get it. So let's start it off like we've been starting off. It's football season. Football's back, baby. And let's do a quick little recap. And I know everybody's looking at me and they're like, what the hell are you wearing Giants gear for? So let me go ahead and put out a disclaimer.
What the hell? Why?
Okay, why? So the reason I'm wearing Giants gear is because, first of all, I'm a diehard fan. I'm not like some bandwagon ass motherfuckers, Lewis, Messiah, that, team always wins and it's easy to be a fan of. I bleed blue and red.
It wasn't like that in the 80s.
Blue and red, whether we're winning or losing. And you know what? I wanted to wear a jersey of a quarterback that actually wins games with the Giants, unlike Daniel Jones over there. Jeez, that guy. Whew. Don't get me started. But anyway, a couple recaps. We had the Patriots and Cam Newton. Let's start there, man. Ooh, talk about a rough game for Cam Newton. But you know what? The one thing we learned about the Patriots, it doesn't take just the quarterback to win the game. Rex Burkhead went off. The defense did good. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys pulled out the W. Good. Did you not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
36, 36-20, I think it was.
Yeah,
36-20.
so you guys had a good game. You pulled off the W. Big game Monday night. You had the well, actually, let's start Sunday night.
Game.
Oh, Sunday night first. Wasn't it Sunday night? It was the Seahawks and the
Green Bay, I think it was. No, Saints.
Oh, it was the Saints. And who'd they play?
It was the Saints and Green Bay.
It was Saints and Green Bay. I'm not looking at that game. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Seattle and Cowboys. That was the game of the week to me. They had a shootout. They were going on, and Russell Wilson, listen, this dude is balling out of his freaking mind. He has the most touchdowns over 3 games in NFL history. He's had 2 games in a row throwing 5 touchdowns. The first game he threw 4. And man, oh man, there was an expression before everything started. Let Russ cook. And dude, he is mixing it up in that kitchen.
I got a question though.
Yeah.
All right, before you ask anybody else, let me jump in here first.
Go ahead.
Then I'll forget. Is he up for a new contract?
No.
Because it looks like he's playing for he's playing for contract.
No, he had a thing over the over the summer that he was tired of everybody talking about his team as a run first team. Right. So he went out there and he made an internet thing. He said, let Russ cook. Right. Because he knew with Metcalf and Lockett and these guys that he could put up some numbers. And you know what? They're doing it. They're letting Russ cook and he's balling out. Did you guys have any games that you watched, Nate? Did you watch any, get to see any highlights, any football that you liked?
I saw part of the Patriots. And then,
okay. I'm done with that. So move on to the next game. Move on to the next game.
I saw the Patriots. I saw a little bit of the Tampa Bay one.
Okay.
I mean, I'll watch football, but it's not something I'll like. I'm not into it like that. Like, I'll pay attention a little bit more, and then of course the Super Bowl. But like, it's not something where I'll sit down every week. Now wrestling, that's a little bit different. I'll do that.
All right. Well, we'll cut this a little bit shorter then, since you're not a big fan of it. I just want to throw out two more things. Josh Allen. It's out of him and Russell Wilson right now for MVP.
You're not gonna ask Goldo what he thinks?
Waiting. I was like,
because it's like completely ignore Goldo like he doesn't exist.
Usually doesn't like to talk
Goldo,
about
what's up, bro?
Football.
How you doing, bro? You doing good, Goldo?
Yo, you see this?
Don't talk about the Patriots, or I'm skipping you. You don't talk about the Patriots. Don't talk about Patriots.
Listen, to give you, to give it to you. I didn't watch the games. I was watching the playoffs, so.
Basketball?
Was more interesting, yeah.
Oh, hey, man. I agree.
Yeah.
Lakers versus Heat finals.
That's going to be good.
Yes. Who you got?
Is it really?
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh, Lakers in 5.
Yeah, but you really think Lakers and Heat, it's a matchup?
No, I just think it will be some good like entertainment, but it's late. I got Lakers in 5.
It would have been better, Lakers and Celtics.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been better.
No. There's
history behind that. There's history behind that.
Nobody cares about that shit.
Yes, they do. You just don't like it because it's not New York.
Yeah, you just don't. You just want it because it's stupid Boston.
The Knicks
Get
are
out
still
of here
alive?
with that shit.
Your Knicks still alive?
Listen,
Knicks? That's a team? I don't know. I don't even know that.
All right, we got to get back on track. You guys are getting me sidetracked. First of all, Josh Allen balling out of his mind. I got to give a shout out to that man. Buffalo Bills, definitely the best team in that division right now. If he continues to play like he is, and the other thing I want to bring up,
I don't play the Patriots.
Yeah, we'll see. The other thing I want to bring up, I don't know if you guys heard. It's breaking news for when we're recording. It may not be breaking when the show airs. And, I know Messiah hates when I do that. Messiah hates that I bring it up, that it's not airing the day we record, but it's okay. Titans, 3 players, 5 staff members, COVID. And they shut down their facilities. Nobody's allowed in them. And the Vikings had to shut down their facilities due to that testing because they played them this past week. Any thoughts about that? Like, do you think they're to cancel games? Any opinions?
I've not heard about that.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I did hear about a team getting COVID. I didn't know who. Now Scheckman brought it up. They might cancel like just their games because it's only that team. But at the end of the day, you still got to look out for everybody else, whether they're not playing against that team or not. But I don't think the whole season will be canceled. I just think just those 2 teams are not going to play for the rest of the season. That's it.
Whoa. Rest of the season?
I guess. I don't know. I don't really follow it.
Okay, that's fine. That's a little extreme.
This is what I think is going to happen.
Go ahead.
This is what I think is going to happen. I kind of heard something like that, but then I was also wondering, they was thinking about Pittsburgh, and I don't know who they're playing.
Titans,
it was also
that's why.
thinking...
Well, that's why the Titans are the ones who tested. Correct, and they're playing Pittsburgh this week. That's the whole reason, yes.
So they're probably going to... I think they'll probably, depending on... They'll test the whole staff again, and if those 3 players end up only being the ones that's tested positive, then they'll probably sit those 3 out, and then they'll play the season. Because right now, to be honest with you, there's money involved.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the NFL does a test every day, bro. If you I watch Hard Knocks, which I love Hard Knocks, and every day there's a testing going on as soon as they walk in the building. So if it only boils down to only those 3 players, I think they'll play the game.
Well, real quick, NFL did say it's the next man up league. They're going to just listen. They've expanded roster, stuff like that. They're going to play, but it's funny you brought up the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? And I think that's a great point because there was a superhero movie that had a player from the Pittsburgh Steelers in it named Hines Ward, and he returned a kick for a touchdown as the stadium collapsed. The movie was a Batman movie. Okay, I don't know, guys, if you guys remember that scene, right?
Yes.
So, Goldo, I want to start with you. And what I want to know from you, because out of all these years now, we got a new one coming up, and, you know, it's kind of exciting, right? And we talked a little bit about it on another show. Who do you think was the best Batman ever to this point?
Okay. So, it's two opinions, okay? So, best Batman, Ben Affleck's. Best Bruce Wayne, Christian Bale.
Okay, expand on that, though. Like, I get you gave me that answer. I felt like you were done. Well, I want to understand a little bit why.
Let me explain.
You know,
explain.
Please elaborate.
Yes. Ben Affleck's Batman is more adulted. It's more raw in a sense. Like in the movie, when you saw the movie Dawn of Justice, he was going in like that type of Batman I like, but he was just like raw, uncensored. You were just slapping. He doesn't kill, but in that movie, he definitely killed a couple people.
Brandon bitches and everything. Yeah.
Yep. And his Bruce Wayne is more stiff. It's like more like bland. There's no character behind it.
Okay.
But Christian Bale did a great job with his Bruce Wayne, where he brought it to life. Like he gave him more emotion to the character. That's why I prefer Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne. But his Batman wasn't all that, because it wasn't that much emotion behind the Batman. Where Ben Affleck's, there was more emotion behind the Batman. You feel me? It's like one has one, the other has the other.
I completely.
But they both
get
were
where you're
good in
coming
their
from.
own different ways.
Yeah. All right. Nasty Nate, what do you think over there?
I'm actually gonna tag along with Gordo on that. Not for the Bruce Wayne part. I think Ben Affleck played both parts better, in my opinion. Him as Batman, aggressive. And that's the thing.
Exactly.
Batman doesn't really kill, but in this movie, he was going off. But as far as his Bruce Wayne, the only reason he felt a little, I guess, quote unquote, dry was because he was focused on Superman. So when you focus on one thing, you're just so laser focused that everything else doesn't really matter to you. So the way I saw it from that point is basically Bruce Wayne is just so focused on Superman, so that way he can stay alive because he thinks that he's the enemy. But when you turn into Batman, well, now he's just a fighter. He doesn't really put emotions. He still has his logic, but that's where his true side comes in. So that's why I prefer Ben Affleck more.
Okay. What you got, Isaiah?
With me, I'm gonna go with Michael Keaton. Because that's the Batman I grew up with. I love the Michael Keaton Batman on that. I like how he played the role, and it was a totally different type of Batman, but for where the dark side came out on these new ones, right? Just like I like my favorite Joker it used to be Jack Nicholson, but then until I seen Heath Ledger, I was like, holy shit, he took it to the different level. And then that became my favorite Joker after that. But to me, I believe the best Batman right now, to me, until I see this new one, I like Michael Keaton as Batman. It was a different era of Batman. It wasn't as dark. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't like the dark Batman, because it added a cool look to Batman and everything. But it was just, I just liked him better as Bruce Wayne.
All right, so I got a couple statements to what you guys said, because before I jump into what I want, I like to, pick you guys' think about what you think, right? If we're talking about just Bruce Wayne, in my opinion, by far, it's George Clooney. Dude, he just portrayed his own life as Bruce Wayne, right?
Really?
This guy's a playboy. This dude is out there womanizing, and he has this look and this feel of he's suave and debonair, and George Clooney is a great Bruce Wayne. He just wasn't a great Batman, right? Like, if you're talking
George
about
Clooney played Batman, I don't remember.
Yeah,
dude, this is why. Come on, bro.
Which Batman?
Come on, Batman and Robin.
Oh, ooh, I forgot about that shit.
You directed
That's
the
why
movie.
we talk about it. There's so many people that have played it. Val Kilmer, George Clooney. Like, you forget the
Val Kilmer too. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're talking about Bruce Wayne, I mean George Clooney, that's the guy who is Bruce Wayne, right? Like he is, that ladies' man, the charismatic, right? So, and then Messiah said something just now that brought up a good point. Oh, you know why I think you like Michael Keaton? You know what Michael Keaton was a spitting image of? The cartoon version, right?
Yeah.
Think about the cartoon version of Batman. That's Michael Keaton. Like, they literally took the cartoon and said, let me get somebody who could portray that Batman to a T. That was Michael Keaton. Right? He did a great job at that. Like, when I'm thinking of the animated series and I'm thinking of the movie, like, that was like one and the same, right? Like, they just went together. But
I see that.
if we're talking about the complete character, right? And I think that's the only way that I think about this is if you can't have one without the other. All right, I get we're going to say who did a better job at this side of it or who did a better job at that side of it, right? But I think we have to, like, if I'm thinking of Batman, there's two sides of the coin. The reason Affleck failed as Batman was because the true Batman separated his Batman side from his Bruce Wayne side. It doesn't matter if you're dealing with Superman or the end of the world. If you're out as Bruce Wayne, you're Bruce Wayne. That's what truly Batman was able to do. That was one of his superpowers, is that he was able to hide who he truly was to the public. You're not walking around all stern and shit. So to me, it has to be Christian Bale, right? Because Christian Bale, he might not have been the best Bruce Wayne out of all of them. He may not have been the best Batman out of all of them, but he was the great collection, right? When you take the two sides and you put them together, that scene with Heath Ledger when he's beating the shit out of him in the freaking police station, and he's like, never start with their head, they'll lose all dizziness, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, that's what you expect Batman to do. He comes in, he's rough, he's tough, and then with Ledger being like, with all you do, all this stuff, you have nothing on. Like, dude, freaking amazing. Like, that's the greatest Batman movie ever, in my opinion, will always be The Dark Knight. Like, that is by far to date the best one. So to me, Christian Bale takes the cake because you got the best of both worlds. Like, you never, I shouldn't say the best, but you got both. You got both sides of it. You know what I mean?
And the movie was really good too.
Yeah, and then at the other one, on the third one, he maybe not have been beating people down like Ben Affleck, but also remember, this was a story where his back got broken. He was recovering. He was an aged, ailing Batman. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to be beating bitches down like that, right? So that's my opinion. What do you guys think about what I had to say? I'll let you guys retort. Since I retorted against you, go ahead and throw it out there.
No, I mean, I do agree with you to a point. Christian Bale did an amazing job, and the movies are amazing. The way he went back and forth as Batman and Bruce Wayne was smooth. There was a smooth transition where he was able to say, "Hey, there's no way you can tell that I'm Bruce Wayne, that I'm Batman, or there's no way you can tell that I'm Bruce Wayne." So it was really good. It was really good the way he portrayed Batman, and he had the gadgets too. He had all the gadgets, like, properly made. It was really good.
So let's flip the coin, right? Like Two-Face does. You like that, right? And who was the worst Batman ever so far? Let's go. Maziah, I'll start with you. Because you were last.
Because I don't remember.
Yeah, that's true. I don't even know why I asked
or George Clooney. Yeah, so one of those two.
Okay. What about you, Nasty Nate?
Well, I've only seen two. So,
jeez! You guys ruined these topics.
I was Gordo, and I'd be like, I'll go with Gordo.
Because Messiah didn't give you nothing.
The only thing is, like, since I've only seen two, I don't really have a true opinion.
That's fine.
Honestly, I would just go with my other choice, but because that's not a real opinion, I'll just pass. If I had seen more, then that's different. But
That's fine. I respect that. Goldo, what about you? You got to be the one guy who's seen them all with me, or at least remembers them. I mean,
I do remember them. I do remember Clooney was with Arnold, right? As
yes.
Okay, so
as Iceman.
Yeah. So now you remember.
Because you know
Yeah,
why?
that's what I'm saying. When he said, I was like, I kind of remember. Yeah,
Because remember, Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey were with Kilmer. Because that was the one with the Riddler and Two-Face.
Yep.
And then the other movie had Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, and those people.
And Catwoman.
Oh, a lot of
it
them
had Danny
Catwoman.
DeVito as Penguin. But that was with Val Kilmer, right?
Yeah, no, that was with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And Michelle Pfeiffer.
That's the one I remember, bro.
Michelle Pfeiffer was Catwoman, bro.
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah, that's the one I remember.
Go ahead. Go.
Last 3 generations of Batman were good. I cannot say they were bad. So,
but if you was to pick the bad one, who would be the bad one for you? Like the worst that played it?
oh Jesus, this guy, I keep forgetting his name. Well, I don't know how
Val
to say
Kilmer?
his name. It's
Val
a-
Kilmer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Val Kilmer is the worst by far. I agree.
Yeah.
Like absolute worst Batman to date. Like
The sign and
he's
everything.
just. Yeah. It's just. It was
It was
pathetic.
horrible. It was
Oh,
horrible.
it was
Played a better
so bad.
Saint.
You know, it's
When
just
he was a spy.
on another thing. Yes, he was great in that movie. So good. But you know what? I just didn't understand some of the castings during those movies. Like, I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, I remember Mr. Freeze, and I think about the cartoon when we go back to it, right? And he was like a skinny scientist guy, and they get the most muscle-bound fucking meathead on the planet to fucking play this like super smart scientific guy. Listen, if you're out there doing science, you ain't got time for those muscles. All right, like get the hell out of here. You can't spend all day in the gym and then find a way to fucking super freeze your dead wife so you can bring her back to life later. Come on, bro. Like, yeah, Lee.
I know.
I mean, he would have been a good
He found a
Bane,
way to
maybe.
inject his muscles, make him big.
Yeah, but that's not what they had. They had him
That's Bane.
fucking souped up from the start, right? Like, but speaking
That's
of
one way to
listen,
look at it.
speaking of that stuff though, I gotta ask you guys. You know, we talk about Batman. He didn't have superpowers. We talk about Mr. Freeze and Bane and all these people that did have superpowers. If you guys could have one superpower, only one, what would it be and why? Goldo?
Okay.
I know you've thought about this. And I know Messiah's probably thinking, well, listen, I've been around a long time. I've seen a lot of powers, so I got to figure out which one I like. So, Goldo, you start us off.
I thought of every. I was like, yo, this is.
So it's okay. I will pick teleportation.
Okay.
But there's different types of teleportations though. Because you can have teleportation like Nightcrawler where he has to see where he's going or know the place where he's going to before he can teleport. Or you can have teleportation like the guy from Jump where if he sees a picture, he just teleport across the world and or if he remembers he can just teleport.
You mean Darth Vader? I'm kidding. He's the guy who played Darth Vader.
I know.
Anakin Skywalker.
Anakin Skywalker. I'll go
Such
with
lame
teleport.
jokes.
It
Okay,
is.
but then you just literally gave a disclaimer out there about the
Yes.
different types of teleporting. So you can't say I'll
Yes.
do teleporting.
But
Tell
I'll
me
do
the
teleport
disclaimers.
Nightcrawler style. I'll do Nightcrawler
Okay,
style.
thank you.
just
I'm like-
because-
There you go.
There
Just
you go.
because-
I'm like,
because your mind wanders. Let's say you're
Okay.
you're thinking about this place, you teleported by accident. It's like shit. Now you're here in jail, or you're in a set of freaking Gone Girls or something like that. You don't know. Yeah, I'm just throwing random stuff out there.
I just want to make sure because, like I said, dude, you kill me. You tell
I
us
did.
the teleportation. You
I
tell us the
know.
differences between them, and there's just like, teleportation. Okay, but which
Yeah,
one is it? Like, what do you want to do? Like, okay.
I'll do
Nas-
Nightcrawler
Nas-
style.
Okay, Nasty Nate, you got one?
Yeah, I got one. There's actually two, but I prefer this one more. And it's Dash from Mr. Incredibles with his feet and his suit. Because his suit controls his body temperature, and as long as the suit controls his body temperature, he doesn't stop. And that's who I choose.
Okay.
I just run as far as I can, as
but
long as
why?
I can.
But why?
Why not? I mean, I don't have to pay for gas. I don't got to pay for tolls. I could just get wherever I want. Like,
I'm just
run to the
listen.
place.
I just want to know why. Why speed? That's all. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
yo,
Like,
the way the economy is right now, I'm trying to pay for gas. I'm good. Like, forget that.
Yeah, you'd be like, I'm the fastest man in the world, bro. Pay me up.
Yo, fast,
Pay
bro.
me up. You think,
go to
you
here,
think my
Miami?
home got $500 million? Yeah, I need more than that.
Yo, facts.
It would be a fair fight in the Olympics. Your record would be like, yo, he broke the world record, .01. What? How the fuck he did that?
They actually do that in the movie. Where
But you know what?
Dash, what?
no, go ahead. Go, you finish.
Oh no, I was gonna say in the first movie, Dash actually has to get second place because of it, and
Yeah.
his dad tells him like, "Yo, just keep it close." So hey, it's funny that you brought that up, Messiah.
But my question is this: then, you guys ever seen the show The Boys on Amazon?
Hey,
No.
Okay. Gold
Okay,
doesn't know
so-
what I'm talking about. This dude has super speed in the show, okay? And he's running so damn fast that somebody accidentally stepped out into the street, and he ran completely through the person that they exploded, and everything went
No way.
everywhere. I swear to
snap.
God. Dude,
Fuck
if
outta
you have
here.
not seen The Boys, go watch The Boys season 1. Season 2's out there streaming now. Dude, this is like real life shit. If you had superpowers, like what are the negative parts of superpowers in real life? Like running through a human being because the human being got in your way and you killed somebody that they splattered all over their boyfriend. That's the
But
shit.
they didn't see anything. Nobody seen anything happen. He
No.
just exploded.
No, just explosion onto the guy's talking to his girl. The girl steps out to the street, and then literally in a blink of an eye, her body is exploded all over his face. That's all they know. Dude.
I
Crazy.
mean, he got in the way, and there's collateral damage. So there's nothing
I'm
I
just
can say.
saying, man.
You
I'm just
yo,
saying.
You would think you would think you're fast enough to move around them, right? Shit.
Right. I mean, there's a thing. Like, if it just happened to be that moment, well, I mean, it just happened. You know, when you run super fast,
So-
you don't try to hurt people.
So
but
wait. So if your power is super fast, you're super fast in everything.
oh my lord.
Oh
Here we
my
go.
God.
I'm just saying, bro.
Here
I'm
we
just
go.
saying. I'm just throwing it out there, bro.
Man,
Like, yo,
so
you're like fucking like a rabbit.
So-
Rabbit.
Minuteman.
So Messiah, let me guess. Your superpower is going to be the power of the turtle, so you can go extra slow, extra long, all night.
Oh,
What's
my
your
God.
Yeah.
What's your superpower
Yeah.
there, Messiah?
I always
Besides,
one of
hold
my
on.
biggest.
Wait, I already know his superpower. He's Vandal Savage, right? From DC, lives forever,
I don't know
never
who Vandal
dies.
Savage is.
Yeah, he was from the dawn of history. He's the guy that's never died. He's always been alive. He's like literally since man created. He was a caveman who got hit by a meteor and absorbed it, and now lives forever. Vandal Savage never
I
dies.
have never even noticed
What?
that. But anyways, if I had a
never heard
superpower,
that.
like
Other
I
than
thought
that, because
about
you already
this, I'm
have
like,
one. Go ahead.
One of my favorite X-Men has always been either Professor X or the Phoenix, because of what they can do with their mind, right? And they can. Professor X was able to find out where all the mutants were, and he was also the guy that can get into your mind. That's why Magneto wore that shit. It's just.
Remember,
I've always
though,
found it
but-
curious.
But
right?
remember, the him finding everybody around the world wasn't a superpower.
No, that was the help of.
That was the machine. Any
Yeah,
telepathic, anybody who was a telepath. Now his superpower gave him the ability to use the machine, but that wasn't part of
Yeah.
his superpowers.
Well, the machine will magnify his strength, and they can help.
Correct.
Locate
So any
more
telepath
mutants.
could do it. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Just
Yeah, but
clarifying for all
that's why
those
Phoenix-
comic book nerds out there.
Yeah, so the Phoenix was actually the same, but at a higher level, because she was the only one that can keep up, or even more stronger than he was with her powers.
Once again, the Phoenix wasn't a telepath.
No, she wasn't.
Well, yeah, she was.
No, she was not. The Phoenix took over Jean Grey, who was a telepath.
Oh, okay.
The
yes,
Phoenix
yes,
is
yes,
not
a
a telepath.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Come on,
I forgot
Messiah.
that, yes.
Come on, man.
Come on,
Bro, I
God.
grew up. Listen, I didn't read the comic books. I grew up watching Saturday morning cartoons, X-Men.
So did I, and that's how I
Which,
learned
by the
it.
way, it's on. Which, by the way, it's on Disney Plus, and I fucking started watching them again. It's ridiculous. It's old. You can really see like, oh, damn. This
Oh,
has been old
it's
as
so
shit.
good though. It's so good though.
Yeah.
I love that shit. I grew up on that shit. That shit was tight.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Amazingness. Great shows. Great shows.
So let's go here, right? I'm gonna throw out the cheat code first, and then you guys can take it away because I already know you're going to. But if there was a superpower I want, it would be the power to absorb other people's superpowers, right? So I can just go around and take all your shit.
Busted.
You know what I'm saying?
Busted.
Like,
Always check.
So
That's how. There's actually somebody. Jean, not Jean Grey. This girl
Rogue,
does it.
Rogue
Yeah, Rogue.
Rogue could do something similar. But remember, it doesn't have to just be comic books. You ever guys watch the show The Heroes? That was on NBC back in the day.
Yeah.
Superhero show.
Got canceled out of nowhere.
Yeah, fucking bullshit. Then they restarted it later, like for one season. Like, what was that? That was such a good show. Such a good show. Yeah, like so mad. Like, oh, but yeah, there was a character on there that could literally he would eat and he would like take it. He didn't think he could absorb it through mental things, but he could see how people's brains work and could cut into their brain and take their powers. And he'd absorb their powers. So he literally could have multiple superpowers.
Shit was that?
Oh, it was fucking nuts. Great show. Go watch it.
Silence of the Lamb meets Marvel.
I think his name was Cyrus
X-Men?
or something crazy. Yeah,
Skyler.
Skyler. Yeah, but he's creepy too. Was the guy? You know who it was? You guys ever watch the new Star Trek movies? It was the Spock from Star Trek.
Bits and pieces.
Yeah, it was Spock from Star Trek. But yeah, anyways,
Speaking of that, did you guys see the new Uber Eats commercial? It has Star Trek and
I wasn't talking.
Star Trek and Star Wars. So it has Luke Skywalker and the guy from Star Trek, the bald guy. I forgot his name. Spock. Yes, it's Spock. And they do a commercial in each other. You haven't seen that? I thought that was the coolest commercial ever. So Uber Eats does a commercial where they face off in a warehouse, and they're about to like have a battle, and then they just look to the side, and then Uber Eats gets delivered. They get an alert, and then look at Uber Eats, and then they go something about your father and shit like that. You gotta watch that. Get a chance. New Uber Eats commercial. It's actually pretty cool. It's Star Trek versus Star Wars.
All right,
it's pretty badass.
Check it out. Check it out.
But
anyway, back to what
Captain Kirk.
Back to what I'm saying here because I got interrupted. You know.
Okay.
So anyway, that would obviously
no, but you're right because it wasn't Spock. It wasn't Spock. It wasn't Spock. It was a Captain Kirk.
It was all Captain Kirk. I know it's like ball head. Spock was ball. Hold up.
Yeah. You're right, Captain Kirk. I don't watch Star Trek. I just know. But
by the way, it was Captain Picard. That was the bald one. Picard was the bald one. They have a new show of him. He has the new show on NBC as well. It's a Star Trek thing. Captain Picard was the bald guy in the Star Trek show, and then they did a movie from him. Captain Kirk was never bald. Captain Kirk was the young stud in Hasselhoff. No, it wasn't Hasselhoff. It was the other guy.
No, it's this guy from Chips. The old Chips, the one I grew up watching Chips, not the new one now.
Yes. I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name all of a sudden though. But yeah, I know you're talking about. He was never bald.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, he's like 80 and he looks like he's 50, bro.
Yeah. So I guess we can move on to another topic now that I got rudely interrupted and cut off again.
Well, before we do that, I want to start it off right. I want to give a shout out and congratulate one of our loyal viewers.
Well, that's what you didn't let me get my segue.
So go ahead, segue to that.
So when we're talking about guys who are 80 and who look 50, I want to go ahead and bring up one of our favorite people of all time, Viper, right? And his retirement.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you guys go ahead and talk a little bit about him. I got some things I'd like to say about Viper. But yeah, I figured if we're talking about 80-year-olds who look 50, he's a perfect guy to talk about.
Perfect fit.
Perfect fit.
The guy who acquired immortality before Messiah. So I want to say just a couple words. Just thank you for your work, for your service you've done so far, and the company we work for. To be honest, I think he will. Did he interview me? I think he did.
I did.
Remember.
I was the one who interviewed you, but when I passed it for the GM third, he probably was the one who interviewed you.
I believe so. No, it was Taurus. Never mind. He did
mine
for
real quick. It's
VPL.
So funny that you guys say that because I'll never forget him and Torres. Like, they would have this little back and forth, right? That when they look at good employees, right? And there was good employees. I remember they used to do this stuff all the time. It made me laugh all the time. Anytime there was a good employee, Jeff would be like, yeah, I'm the one who did the GM third. And anytime there was a bad employee, he'd be like, no, Torres, you did the GM third.
You're the one who hired him.
It's so funny. Viper used to always take credit for doing GM thirds on any of the good people. But all the bad people was like, nah, that wasn't me. That was Torres. I never would have hired that guy.
No, yes. He on my interview, he gave me good words of encouragement. It's like, hey, listen, even though this is not the position for you, it's something you got to keep working on because we see your work and stuff like that. He gave me good work. It's like, listen, you're doing good. You're gonna make it soon. You'll see. And truth be told, I made a VP a couple weeks later. But it was I want to say thank you to Mr. Jeff for your work. So you'll always be loved, and well, you'll still be watching us. What's up? You're not going nowhere. Yeah. We still here, baby. What's up?
Even if nobody else is watching, we know you are.
Yeah, we know you are.
That's so true.
I ain't going though.
I know you ain't going nowhere. We still here.
Go ahead, Nate. Go ahead, Nate. You go.
Yeah, so he had a very interesting way when it came to work, whether like just on a day-to-day basis, and I wouldn't directly question it. I would just always think to myself, why does he always want to do it this certain way? And then it just took me time, but then I realized, okay, yeah, he's seeing it from a different perspective that I'm not seeing it. I'm just trying to be arrogant and stubborn, but obviously he has his way of doing it, and you don't just go decades in a company without that. So
yeah, 25 years or more, I believe.
Exactly, yeah. So once I started learning about it and then understanding how he was from the leadership side, then I said, okay, it's just I just got to learn to not question too much. Just question when it's correct, but not everything. And then when I found that out about his retirement, I was like, damn, like I just understood him as a leader a few years ago. Now you want to leave, but I get it. He's off to bigger and better things. And at the end of the day, everybody chooses when to go ahead and retire it. And I just wish him nothing but the best. Like, honestly, from everything that he showed, not just from myself, but from what I hear from other coworkers, like he's impacted a lot of people, including myself. So with that, Viper, I wish you nothing but the best. I hope your team wins in every sport, and good luck with that.
Hey, speaking of which,
they beat the Giants, by the way.
Hold on, no. But speaking of which, shout out to the Bears, 3-0, right? Finally benched Trubisky, but they're still winning. Doesn't matter.
Hey.
They benched him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they benched him for that. So, as for me, I would like to, thank you, and congratulate you first. Congratulate you first on your retirement. Well deserved. And then thank you for, everything you have taught me, what I've learned. You're very loyal to your employees. Your employees will be like, he would die for his employees. Yes, and his employees would do the same thing for him. Like, it was like he was one of those guys one of those leaders that people would die for, right? Just because he'll do the same thing for you. One of my biggest things that I would never forget from Viper was, we caught somebody, with shrink, right? And it was a young man. And, normally people would be like, real pissed off and be like, get that guy out of here and this and that and tell him not to come here anymore and all that. He actually went up to the guy, and I witnessed this. Went up to the guy. He's like, listen, young man, I know this and that because we seen it, and I know you have it. Just, give it to me. I'm not going to press any charges. Go home. And, and one of those things, like, in other words, giving that kid an opportunity to show them because sometimes that's what it is. He showed them that he cared about him and told them, hey, listen, I know you have it. Give it to me. I'm not gonna call the cops on you, because most people will immediately call the cops, right, and ruin the kid's life. Because technically that's what it would, right? He'll get that if charges get pressed. I mean, he'll have that on his record. And to me, I was very impressed by that, and I actually went up to him. I waited for time to slow down, because if it's busy, you cannot talk to Jeff. You cannot talk to him because it's busy. He's like, wait a minute, I got too many things going on right now. And so it was one of those things, but I wait till it to slow down and talk to him. I'm like, hey, I love the way you handle that. thank you for that. That was pretty awesome. When I was a kid, somebody gave me a second chance, and what you did there, and I told him, and it changed my life. What you did there, you might have impacted that kid's life, and you might have had changed his life, and put him to think differently. So, I actually congratulate the way you handle that. So, congratulations on your retirement. Thank you for being such a loyal, viewer of the show. You and your wife, and just congratulations.
Yeah, man. It's when it comes to Viper, man, it's a little bit different for me, and I think you guys are probably gonna laugh when I say this, but I've always felt like Viper and I have very similar personalities to a degree, with the way we carry ourselves at time, right? Viper is a very passionate person. All right. He takes a lot of pride in his job. He cares about his job to a point that sometimes people who don't know him, it could come off a certain type of way, right? And I've always viewed myself that same way. That I feel I'm very passionate. I'm very outspoken. I'm not afraid to say what's on my mind, and neither is Viper. He'll tell you how he feels, right? You never really had a guess when it came to Viper where you stood. Right. And that's one of the things I've always loved about that man is I knew if he was pissed off at me or I knew if I was doing a great job with him because he wouldn't hesitate to come and tell you. And for somebody like myself, that helped me grow so much because I always knew where I was. I've had a lot of leaders. I have a lot of people that I worked for in my day. And it's always felt like a mystery. Like, dude, am I going to get in trouble? Am I doing something wrong? I'm not getting any feedback. But Viper, you knew, right? Like, dude, you screw up, Viper's going to let you know, okay? Yep. He doesn't like what you're doing. He's letting you know. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a negative thing. And I'll be the first one to tell you, man, there was times when I became a leader in that building with Viper that him and I bumped heads at times. But the thing that he taught me that made me a better leader was all those times that he pulled me aside afterwards and he sat me, we had a conversation about it and he spoke to me as a person. And we even though we maybe still didn't agree on what our views were, we understood that it wasn't personal. It was our point of views and we moved on and we left it where it was. You know what I'm saying? It never carried on past that. And he was always the bigger man to make sure he came to me to talk to me about it. Right. And he taught me that because that's something I was lacking for a long time in my leadership skill. I had issues with people that worked for me and I would just be like, man, screw that person. I'm done. And he taught me that, no, you can't do that. A real leader can not only admit when you're wrong, but be able to be man enough to go up. And even when somebody pisses you off to no end, that you're still going to go to them and try to talk to them and try to fix the problem. And Viper did that with me all the time. And because as you guys all know, because you guys have all worked for me and you've all worked with me, you guys have all said it, I can be tough to work with, right? But Viper showed me how, Viper showed me how to try to be better because I really did lean on him, even though I wouldn't work for him. I watched a lot of what he did and I was able to see how I could be better. And the one thing about this guy that I always love is I'll never forget a quick story. A customer came in and for some reason something happened, right? And she was not happy. And I'm the leader. I was the leader there. So I went to address the issue, right? I walk into the apartment and out of nowhere, I don't know what I said to this lady, right? But she just blows her mind, screaming and yelling and cursing on the top of her lungs. Get away from me! Like just went crazy on me, right? To the point that Viper had to be the leader to come deal with it. And all of the Vipers left, and as he goes, look, do me a favor, right? Calm and cool, dude. Like, hey, do me a favor. Just go sit down in the SDR for a little bit. I'm gonna go deal with this, but I need you to go sit down in the office and take a minute, right? And I sat down and I was pissed off. I'm like, well, why do I gotta go anywhere? I didn't do anything wrong. Why am I getting sent off the floor? He just came back to me, helped me understand. Like, look, dude, I'm not saying you did anything wrong. But what you need to understand is according to that person at that moment, you can't be there. That's all it is. Whether you did anything right or wrong, you can't be there. And I got to de-escalate the situation and I got to deal with it. And he showed me just different ways of thinking about how to problem solve that I still utilize today in my job with my staff, right? That it's not about right or wrong sometimes. It's about how to de-escalate a situation, how to make things better, how to be able to go and apologize or not apologize, but how to fix relationships. Like, it was just so much stuff he did. And I just want him to know that I really, I know I didn't work with him a lot, but the times I spent with him, I've always said I've taken more from him than probably any of my leaders in that company, because I felt very similar to sometimes the way that I carry myself to the way he did. And I was able to see myself a little bit in him. So it was really a big thing. And I appreciate your support. He hits me up all the time about comments about the show, notes, what went well, what didn't went well, right? Like, and I just, like, he's the only leader that I've had in this company that still randomly just reaches out to me just to see how I'm doing. Like, and that stuff means a lot to people. And I hope you know that it means a lot to me, if nothing else. And I know my Yankees are better than your Cubs, and that's okay. But your Bears are better than my Giants. So we all got something, I got Glaber, you got, Nick Foles, I guess, whatever. But I just want you to know I love you, Viper. You mean the world to me, man. And, congratulations on retirement. I'm sorry I was a little long-winded, but, he's somebody very special to me.
That was beautiful.
Yeah,
That was beautiful.
That was amazing.
I thought you was gonna start crying and shit, getting very
I know.
emotional. There was
Yeah,
parts that, like, it's okay to cry, bro. It's okay.
Listen,
you
I
need a
know.
shoulder to cry on. Just lean over on the microphone and be like, it's okay.
Just let the
Yeah,
teardrop.
no,
You
but
got
that
the
was-
violin.
Yeah.
I was
very
very
well.
That
was-
voice. I was like,
But the
I
thing
can
is
see
the
cry.
impact.
But the thing is this.
I can
I'll
see
be
the
honest.
impact.
Nobody
I can
knows
see
this. Nobody knows this, because this was never something I talked about. When people are around, they never knew that. It was. I guess this is the first opportunity I've ever had to really speak how I feel about this leader compared to other leaders I've had. And I guess it does all kind of come out of nowhere. Because it's sad. Because I'll be honest, part of me always thought maybe I'd wind up back over there at some point, and I'd have him to give me a good reference again, because he helped me with my career. He was somebody out there who literally advocated for me. He was one of the first people to come back when I worked in that store and congratulate me. I remember he was the guy I talked to when I tried to get a job there, and I knocked on, and I was like, I had to speak to somebody because nobody called me up for an interview. And he's like, look, we're working on it. Just be patient, and it just pushed me aside or whatever. But, I get it, because I've done that to people too. So, but yeah, it was great.
Very, very supporters, very, into his employees, a great leader, and he would everybody would say, everybody in that store that has worked with him will do anything for him because he's the same way with them.
Yeah.
Anybody. If Jeff is getting yelled at by an employee, all the employees stand up and they all look like ready to defend him in case it ever gets there. Everybody's ready to defend him, and he's just that leader. If you wanna, if you work your ass off, he'll he makes sure that you know that, and he acknowledges that. But he, like you said, he will be the one to tell you also, hey, slacker, and he'll tell you exactly what's on his mind, and and hey, everybody got to be in here. We have a floor to run, type of shit, all that shit, So he was that guy. You always know how he felt. He makes sure you know how he felt. If he has something to tell you, he makes sure he looked at you and tell you exactly how he felt.
Yeah, I hope you
and
guys.
He would also be the first one to congratulate you. Hey, you're doing great.
I hope you guys do something like retire his clipboard. Somehow frame it, put it on the wall of fame. You know what I'm saying? Have everybody autograph it or something. But that yellow clipboard needs to be retired and put someplace special. Maybe if you guys all sign it,
On the
even you guys
banners.
all sign it and give it to him as a gift. But got to do something with that thing. But real quick, when we're talking about somebody even older than Jeff, we talk about Messiah, right? And so we're gonna go jump into the segment. Back in Messiah's day of history.
Yes.
Okay. And
Get on my lawn.
When we talk about Viper, right? And we talk about, how the Yankees are better than the Cubs. Let's talk about how back in 1961, on October 1st, 1961, The New York Yankees' Roger Maris becomes the first ever Major League Baseball player to hit more than 60 home runs in a single season. The great Babe Ruth set the record in 1927. It went from 1927 to 1961 before Maris and his teammate Mickey Mantle spent the 1961 season trying to break it. What could you imagine that? Oof. What do you
A record that long.
That's
Damn,
a long
nearly
record.
40 years. Nearly
It's a
40
long-
years to break a record.
It's a very
That's
long
impressive.
ass
And to
record.
think how much baseball has changed from the pitchers. Also, the pitcher mount changed. The way the pitching style changed. Also, all that changed. Because back in the day, I think it was just fastball, changeups, and curveballs. Now we have sliders. We have fucking so many different ways of pitching. Overhand, underhand. That to break that, it's crazy, bro.
You know what's
It's
funny?
changed.
Little trivia for you. What was the team that he hit the 61st home run against?
Because you said it was funny. I'm thinking it's the rest.
It was.
I figured that.
Yeah.
Because you would have not called it out if it was
Nope.
that. I could see it.
The league champion Yankees won the game 1-0 on his 61st home run. Yeah, get it.
Damn.
Oh my goodness. What do you guys think though? It's pretty good, right? Right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Here's
my-
one that I know. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, whoever wants to go, it don't matter to me.
Go ahead.
Well,
go ahead,
I
go
got
ahead.
a topic. I got a topic that I think my boy, when we're talking about back in history, that I think my boy Goldo would want to jump in on with those smooth vocals of his.
All right, Goldo, you up?
So 1920, right? Scientific America reports that the radio will soon be used to transmit music to the home.
That's the greatest invention since slice of bread, bro. Let me tell you. To be able to listen to music on a radio, on the go, it's just greatness. Because imagine you making a drive. I drive a lot. Me driving to Massachusetts from Florida. That's a 18-hour drive to 24-hour drive, depending how many stops, if you stop overnight, whatever not. Imagine that long-ass drive, no music. You will kill someone and kill yourself in the process. The boredom you will go through without any music. Let me tell you. If it wasn't for music, you'd fall asleep driving too.
You know what? It's funny you say that though. Like it seems like such an insignificant invention.
Yeah.
But Messiah,
is.
tell me what it was like in 1919 when there was no music on the radio. Like, what was life like?
All you heard is like news, and all you heard is this like propaganda shit and shit. They want you like TV shows, right? Like War of the World. That's all you heard. Like any news or shit like that is what you hear. Now you get to hear music, play the tunes, and think about how it changed and also created an industry for it.
Yeah.
Because
That's true.
in order to hear music, you had to go out, right? But to hear it now in your house, to hear that, and you can actually dance to it, personal time to it. It also, it changed an industry. It created more radio stations, more type of music that can get heard. It gave voice to the artist, the musician that wanted to be heard, not just at that pub or wherever they were playing. They were across the nation. So what it created, it also created new radio stations all over. Because without radio stations, we don't get
You
topics,
said that
we don't
already,
get
but that's okay.
other updates and all that shit. So yeah,
What
I know.
do you think? What do you think, Nasty Nate? What do you think?
I mean that's very important for the radio and one of my favorite moments. This is like one of the greatest things I've ever, in my opinion, is I want to say 1903 is when the Model T was finally introduced to the public.
Well, you can do that next. Let me just jump in on radio real quick, and then I'll let you jump on that. So here's two things I want to say about the radio that I think we missed out, right? Number one, what it did is allowed individuals to hear music they never would have heard before. Because the one thing about growing up in those eras, you heard what your parents listened to, right? So what happened is the parents would go to the record store, they bring home this country, right? And that's what you listen to. right? So that's what you grew up with. But with a radio, it allowed you to tune into music you never heard before because now there was no limitation from it, right? And number two, in my personal opinion, music started the revolution. The revolution that allowed for equality in this nation, okay? Because what it did is it allowed white people the opportunity to hear black people music and to fall in love with these types of things, which sparked a revolution in this country. And believe it or not, if it wasn't for the radio and if it wasn't for music, we may not have our progression to equality that we're still fighting for today. And it sucks that we're not there yet, but we could be so much further behind without the radio and the development of music, because that was truly the first expression of freedom of speech, in my opinion, because it allowed people to play and record and put on the radio. Because like you said about those stations, and you're right, Messiah, those stations grew, right? But they grew because certain stations refused to play a certain type of music, that they had to get a different station out there that would air it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, that was the first sign of real, like, massive multi-propaganda freedom of speech, was the music that you could listen to and you could play. So I just thought it'd be really cool to bring that up, because that's what it would have meant to me. Like, that was the start of equality in this nation, and taking the turn to saying we need equal rights was because of the radio and the music. But let me hear about them cars. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Gas it up.
Well, before the... I'm done. But before the Model T, back then, cars or chariots and all that, they were very expensive. If you were wealthy, only you could buy a car. If you weren't wealthy, forget it. A car would be basically like buying a house. Now, once you introduce the Model T, it's not that it's by Ford, it's just a very cheap car, but really it introduced mass production and the assembly line. And if you think about it, most cars, there's still some car brands out there that are still made by hand, like Bentley and all that, but not everybody has.
That's why they're so expensive.
Exactly. Nobody has that kind of money. I mean, if you got it, hey, that's all you. But for everybody else, whether middle class, lower class, whatever class you're in, because of that type of technology, they were able to start making cars cheaper. They were able to make it faster. We have car companies, if I'm not mistaken, I think Toyota can crank out cars in roughly like 13 hours or so. Like, they're pretty fast with it. But that's been the progression. You lower the price by obviously reducing the cost to make it. But look what we have. We now have obviously gas-powered cars. We have diesel. We have now electric vehicles. Now the electric vehicles being a boom. Now people are figuring out how to actually make the electric car cheaper with this mass production. So you have this blown up sector of automobiles, and it's all because of that car, the Model T. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest looking, but it's one of the most iconic, and it also wasn't the first. I believe Mercedes was first by a few years back. I don't remember which model, but Mercedes was first. But Model T really, when you think of cars, like the very early ones, that's what you think about. And it's how important it was when it came to technology.
So hold on real quick. Let me drop some facts in here, right? Because I think everything Nate said was great, but when I put out these numbers, I think it just drives home what he's talking about. All right. So on October 1st, 1908, the first production of the Model T Ford was completed, okay? Mm-hmm. Between 1908 and 1927, they would build close to 15 million cars, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but here's the point I want you to know. At the beginning of 1908, there were fewer than 200,000 cars on the road. Wow. That, like you said, revolutionized. We went from fewer than 200,000 to 15 million, right? Like, completely. But and the other thing that we don't think about, we're just talking about the car industry. This was the beginning of the assembly line in general. Mm-hmm. This revolutionized the world in mass production of products. This is what grew our economy as an entire worldwide conglomerate of everybody, right? This changed everything. This was a game changer. We would not be doing this show if it wasn't for the assembly line in mass production. Plain and simple.
Yeah. I mean,
Go ahead, Messiah.
And the crazy thing about it, it was a promise that Ford did, right? They promised to give everybody, not just the people with money, like everybody a vehicle. And that's why they ended up making that goal of 50 million. And the funny thing about that history kind of repeating itself with Tesla. Tesla wants to reach, I think he said 1% or a certain percentage of the world's population with electronic, which rounded out to be 2 billion cars, right? No, 2 billion cars in the world he wanted to make. And by doing that, it started off with he wants to mass produce and make it cheaper, the battery. So it's repeating itself. And he wants to make that same promise that Ford made. And he might deliver on that promise because there's a lot, because they're gonna looking into making it cheaper, mass producing the battery, the electric vehicle. He might get to those numbers.
Very true.
He might hit that, and it's just crazy. It's just one of those things that you get a visionary, they see it, they fucking go after it, and it happens.
Yeah.
What do you think, Goldo? What do you think, buddy?
No, I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing how one person's idea or believe in like their own company took off, and look at us now, 100 years later, and there's mass production of everything in the world. Like this, more than 40 different car companies around there or so. Can you check that for me? I don't know.
Yeah.
That are mass producing vehicle at a fast pace, giving you, hey, we're going to release this vehicle tomorrow. We have 30,000 of them tomorrow. The next will give you another 20,000. Just per se, throwing numbers. Which is crazy. Which back in the day was like, we have one today, 2 weeks later we get you another one. And that's it. But
Well, you think about it though, and you know what the funny thing is when we're talking about Ford and Tesla's wasn't that long ago. Tesla's was the same way, man. Like it was, you ordered it and you waited 9 months like a baby. Like it literally, you impregnate Tesla and then 9 months later it gives birth to your little baby car, right? Like. And now you can go, now they have some dealerships, right? And it won't be long before, you could go to an adoption agency and go ahead and adopt yourself a little Tesla, right? You don't got to impregnate that chick. You just go adopt it. It's good.
Yep,
pretty much.
that's it,
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So
It's
get a
amazing.
pre-owned one, right? Get a pre-owned one.
Well, that's like getting an adolescent Tesla, right? It's not as cute as the original, and it's got some, and it's got some issues with it because of the parents that it used to be with. You know what I'm saying? The parents it used to be with didn't treat it right, maybe, so it wants to act out a little bit. You got to go get it tuned up and stuff. But you know what? You still love it. You don't love it any less. It's still your Tesla, but it was just, unfortunately, you don't know if somebody's in the back seat of that Tesla before. You know what I mean?
I so want one, man. I want that to be my next vehicle. Like I would trade up my Toyota for that, bro. Like I would do it. So
but hold on,
BMW, bro.
that's what I said.
no,
But
I'm
you trade the BMW.
I'm using the BMW for the X4.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
The X4.
All right.
So
So
you just
real
want
quick,
expensive cars left and right.
last thing I just want to bring up because I thought it was really cool because we're gonna have to wrap things up here in a minute. I don't know why I think this is really cool. I know it was somebody that was Messiah used to hang out with back in the day, but on October 1st, 1962, Johnny Carson takes over from Jack Paar and hosts of the late night talk program, The Tonight Show. And if you guys know anything about that program, he is still to this day the greatest ever late night talk show host of all time. Yep. There's nobody better than Johnny Carson. Okay, and I don't care who's out there, what they're doing.
The millennials will argue
he's
that
a legend.
Jimmy Fallon.
No, Jimmy Fallon will never be John Carson.
Nope. No.
He will be something maybe, but he'll never be Johnny because Carson is the first. And when you're the first at something,
there's somebody in Hispanic community that has been around longer than him, by the name of Don Francisco.
Don Francisco. That is so true.
I'm so white. I have no clue what you're talking about.
My grandma.
Let him know, Gordo. Let him know, Gordo. Let him know.
My grandma grew up watching this man. I grew up watching this man, and this man still has a show till today.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. Thinking about ageless, this guy is prime ageless, bro. This guy is still going on.
Bro, like, one thing, my grandma was a kid watching him, and he was old then, and I grew up watching him, and he's still old the same way. I'm like, are you Messiah's father?
Didn't recently retired?
Recently, yeah, about like, what, 3-4 years ago?
Yeah, like that's the Latino version of Johnny Carson.
All right,
That's
good to know.
That man, let me tell you, that when I tell you this man pull out shows, he put out shows like every Saturday. This was a hurricane, he still has a show.
Well, listen, talking about pulling
and
out shows.
He filmed in Florida, in Miami.
Hey, real quick, when we're talking about pulling out shows, we did it before, we're going to do it again. It's that time to end the show, but before we do, because we don't have Sneaker of the Day, we're going to get my boy, Nasty Nate, to give me the flex.
The gun show?
Of
The gun show
the
awesome.
day.
The one from today, like, bro.
Give me the flex of the day, bro. Let's go.
Let's see what I got.
All right.
Quick. Hey, that's a little bit more cut, bro. Okay, I see myself, bro.
He's like, I see
what I
myself.
mean?
Hold on. Did you, Messiah and Goldo, did you guys buy tickets to that gun show? For that gun show,
There's a gun show in
baby,
Florida.
let's
There's a gun
go.
show in Florida, so.
Oh, what do you know about that? Okay.
Oh, man.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, guys, I want to thank you
That's
guys.
awesome.
Nasty Nate, I want to thank you for filling in for my boy Nelly, who's out there doing that wedding stuff, having some fun. As always, my boy Messiah, you know, without you, there would be nothing, right? You are the beginning and the end, the alpha, the omega. You've been around since the beginning of time, and you'll be around till the end of time. My boy Goldo, listen, without you, there'd be no class and there'd be no sass. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank you as well for everything you bring to the show.
Thank you.
You know, you bring the swagger. You know what I'm saying? So, guys, it's been fun. It's been real.
Shackman, shout out yourself too, Shackman. Shout out yourself.
Hey, listen.
You deserve it.
Listen,
I'll do
without
it.
the monster on the
Okay,
mic,
okay, you got
listen. Okay, go ahead.
Listen, without the monster, there wouldn't be anybody here talking as much as you do. There wouldn't be anybody complaining as much as you do.
I was just saying,
There
I bring
wouldn't be
the
anybody
controversy.
fighting as much as you do. But that's something that we enjoy.
All right.
And the
all
viewers
right.
enjoy. It's all
Well, I
love.
hope so. If you don't, leave a message and I'll tell you go. Yeah, whatever.
Hey, by the way,
guys.
congratulations on Generation Sports, bro. I like it. I like
Thank
the
you,
Dr.
thank you.
Goose shit that you got
Congrats,
going on.
congrats.
I love that shit. So keep that shit going.
Oh yeah, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, you know it's part of listen, it's just a subsidiary of this. It's all part of it, but it's gonna be me and my boys from my fantasy football league talking, having a little fun. Come check out some episodes. We'll do some preview shows. We got a really cool show called Duck Duck Goose. The league, the fantasy football league, real quick, and then we're done. It's called the Golden Goose, right? So in order to call it the Golden Goose, we go Duck Duck Goose as a show. We talk about whether the player will be a duck or a goose. Come check us out. It's a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. But I want to thank you guys. Hey guys, got anything to say before we end it, or let's go?
I want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
As always, thank you for allowing me to be the special guest. It's such a blast doing it. You guys are insane. ScheckMonster. I don't know why you like to argue so much, but like it's just so funny. When you argue, it's the funniest. And then Gordo, every time you bring up like anything from the past or anything about your personal life, I really like it. It's I can relate to it a little bit. Not everything, but I still can, and I really like that. And then Messiah, honestly, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. So with your brain, your innovation. That's true. That's true.
You wouldn't be here.
That's true. That's true.
Messiah, you didn't have parents. You crawled out of the muck and just developed into what you are through evolution.
Yep.
I'm dead. No, but for real, honestly, Messiah, if it wasn't for you actually starting this, it wouldn't be where it's at. And honestly, it's been amazing being able to watch your shows, and the few appearances I can make, it's been a blast.
Well, you'll be on again, and you'll be on a lot more. Don't worry. We love having you on. We appreciate your time. But with that note, guys, we're out. Oh, real quick. Never mind. If I shout it out, the show airs after that. So never mind. Love you guys.
Deuces.
All right,
Deuces.
good night, everybody.
Everybody, good night.
We got the right stuff.